Hi, my name is Keena and I'm part of the data management team in the Marine Institute Ireland. Today I'm representing the team listed here to talk about our modular approach to cataloguing marine science data. So just an overview in today's presentation. I'll talk about some of the requirements we had for a modular data catalogue, the benefits we found with this approach, how we implemented it, and some next steps. Just to mention, we have a paper published on this topic included here if anyone is interested in more detail on the system we've developed. So in terms of requirements, of course, as you all know, the ability to access and search metadata is vital, making data fair. And this is a key requirement for appropriate cataloguing of data. A lot of catalogues can focus on observational data only. This was our initial focus, but our requirements developed as we needed to cater for the various scientific sections of the Marine Institute, each having their own requirements. For example, our marine environment and food safety section had spatial data needs, but we also needed to adapt to our fisheries section, which was more biological focused. We also needed to consider the various legislative requirements on data publishers and the need for derived data. For example, Marine Spatial Planning, Marine Strategy Framework Directive, and of course Inspire. So a data catalogue should recognise these factors and ideally aim to meet the requirements they set, as well as highlighting which datasets may be relevant to them. So we had the requirement to have all our derived data as well as our observational data in one place. And in addition to legislation and the requirements set by that, we also have community standards that should be adhered to. So Friedel et al. Have already demonstrated the need for modularity. And to address these requirements, we implemented a modular data catalogue with extensive use of controlled vocabularies. So what were the benefits in this modular-based approach? So this reusable modular approach meets, at a base level, the requirements of the FAIR principles, particularly around findability. So we can export metadata into different metadata formats, such as schema.org, and this improves discoverability through exposing it to tools such as, say, Google Dataset Search. A modular catalogue, of course, helps with data integrity and reuse. We could also extend the catalogue beyond the oceanographic domain and implement it into all sections of the Marine Institute. We can export various different metadata for datasets and services, for example, ISO 19115, which meets the requirements set by Inspire. A modular approach also allowed us to quickly generate different views of the metadata for different purposes, for example, around Marine Spatial Planning digital tool, and provided new views to the metadata. A modular catalogue also allowed us to assess which datasets were relevant to the different legislations. And of course, we could use community governed controlled vocabs, which addresses one of the interoperability aspects of FAIR. So overall, there really were a number of key benefits a modular approach to cataloguing brought us. Here is just a high-level overview of the data model used in our modular data catalogue. The model comprises of a number of key classes, which are described in a lot more detail in the associated paper. So how have we implemented this modular data catalogue in the Marine Institute? So we have an internal and a public-facing data catalogue. The internal data catalogue has been developed using Drupal-based user interface, really for the content management. And this internal catalogue houses all the Marine Institute datasets. The catalogue then has been developed to export metadata for datasets and services in ISO 19115 format. We can also export other various metadata formats, for example, DataCite, which is used for DOIs, and also, as I mentioned earlier, schema.org, which allows for datasets to be searched using Google Datasets. Now, only content appropriate for publication is included in the export to our public-facing catalogue, and this is based on a GeoNetwork. We have a strict set of classification rules that determine what can be exported publicly. And the records that can be made publicly available are harvested to this public-facing GeoNetwork, and this serves as our external catalogue. And we currently have over 500 datasets there, and it's available at data.marine.ie. So now, what are some of the next steps? We've been looking at cataloguing at a web scale, and Adam Leadbetter actually is presenting some of these really interesting ideas and next steps in his poster presentation, Cataloguing Ocean Data at Web Scale, which is looking really at cloud-based services. So this poster presentation will be available at the IMDIS conference later today. So thank you for your time.